Taylor Friloux. That's right. Remember her name, Taylor Friloux. This is her picture. And she was unalived by a savage named Joshua Every almost 10 years ago. And he has just been sentenced, or he just accepted a plea deal almost 10 years ago. He's just accepting a plea deal to first-degree unaliving. And he is going to spend the rest of his life in prison. The family had to wait almost 10 years for justice to be served because Joshua Every sat inside the Correctional Institute of Jefferson Parish, breathing air and playing games with psychologists and psychiatrists as he played the crazy role. Oh no, man, we got another mentally ill patient inside the jail system that took a young girl's life, breathing air that she should be breathing. He plays these mental games with the justice system, and our justice system is pathetic. We see all this mental health stuff. Anybody who does what he did is mentally unwell. So let's help them get mentally well by putting them out of their misery. See, the state of Louisiana has capital punishment, and the state of Louisiana was going to put Joshua Every on the chopping block. They were going to put, you know what I mean, a concoction straight through his veins that was going to shut his heart down, and he was going to be dead, dead, dead. No more breathing. Joshua Every gone. Should Joshua Every be breathing? Well, he's got a life sentence, so he's probably going to live the next 30, 40, 50 years inside Angola prison or in some Louisiana prison somewhere, and he's going to be breathing air, and he's going to go get sun on yard call, and he's going to be able to make canteen, and he's going to be able to eat three hot meals a day and have his 3 hots in a cot. He's going to be able to play basketball. He's going to be able to join the prison football team. He's going to be able to make art in the arts and crafts store. He's going to be able to write a book if he even wants to. I don't know if this fool's capable of doing it, but he'll be able to. He'll be able to educate himself, even get an education, possibly a college degree, because you can get college degrees inside Louisiana State Prison. You can get college degrees in pretty much any prison. So he gets to do all this stuff. Oh, I ain't even finished there. Wait a second. If he has family that still cares about him, which, you know what I mean? Even the worst people still has a mother and father who cares about them and loves them, sisters, brothers, etc., children. And they'll be able to go visit him. He will be able to have visitations, and if he acts accordingly, which I don't know if this fool is capable of doing, he'll eventually be able to get picnic visits to where he can visit for 4, 5, all 6 hours and eat Raising Cane's, the place that Taylor Friloux worked and he unalived her in. This fool will literally be able to get Raising Cane's in a picnic visit and be able to eat this food of the same place that he took this poor, beautiful girl's life from. She was a 21-year-old who was already in a leadership position, working for Raising Cane's, which is awesome that she was rising up in leadership in a Louisiana-based business as she lived in Louisiana. I don't know her. I don't know a lot about her, but from what I read and what I see, and you could always judge things by the initial glance. And the initial eye test told me that this young girl was going to do something with her life. She was going to be a special person. As my initial first glance at Joshua Every told me he wasn't going to be nothing except a criminal and a perpetual victim who takes other people's lives. And that's what he did to poor Taylor that night. And we had to wait almost 10 years to get this fool sentenced to life. And he copped out right before they started trial. Because I read the article. Jefferson Parish was going to bring him to trial, and they were going to try him for the death sentence. But I guess his attorney finally talked him out of it and said, hey, look, take the plea deal, take a life sentence in prison. So he took the life sentence in prison. So now the family finally got closure. Do you think that was fair that our justice system allowed this case to drag on for almost 10 years while the family had to wait for justice? I don't think that is any kind of justice or solitude toward the family of Taylor. My heart goes out to them. My heart breaks for them. Listen, I know a bunch of people inside Louisiana prisons, and I know some people that should never get out of prison. Well, Joshua Every is one of those people. When he gets to prison, he should never be let out. And he should actually be thanking God that he was able to take a plea bargain and get a mandatory life sentence without parole, because he deserved to die with lethal injection. But he was spared. And I'm assuming that Taylor's family had to agree to this plea bargain. There are some people, like I said, that I know in prison who should never be let out. And there are other people who are in prison on a different side of the story. They would make great people, you know what I mean? Once they were released back into society, they would be productive members of society, and they would do good, and they would help society, and they would help improve society. But there are some crimes where people do and commit that they should never be let out. Man, this girl was literally closing the store for the night in Kenner, Louisiana, Raising Cane's. And she was closing the Raising Cane's right off of Williams Boulevard. And she went to take out the trash. And Joshua, who was also a co-worker of hers at Raising Cane's, who was already off, had been planning to rob the Raising Cane's because he knew where the money was kept, and he knew that Taylor would be working and closing for the night. So he waited for an opportune time, and he had some other people. There was some co-defendants, and I haven't looked to see what kind of sentences they got, but I'm assuming they got some pretty hard sentences too. Not the life that he got, but I'm gonna have to go back and check that out. But he had co-defendants. He waited for her to take the trash out. He put the knife, the shank, to her throat or whatever. She went inside. He forced her to open the safe. She opened the safe and gave this fool the $1,000. What you gonna do with $1,000? I ask people all the time when they commit robberies or committing crimes, what you gonna do with $10,000? Let's say this fool would have got $10,000. People think, these savages think that $1,000 is worth taking another human being's life for. Yeah, that's a mental illness. You are mentally ill. You are mentally sick if you come to the conclusion that a person's life is worth being lost so that you can get your grubby hands on $1,000. It's absolutely disgusting. It's disgusting, y'all. Our justice system has failed and continues to fail so many people. I don't know what to say, man. And criminals who refuse to own up and take accountability for their actions, y'all chumps. If you're still out here complaining, oh, the man got me down bad, bruh. Sometimes the man does get people down bad, but by and large, people just don't want to take responsibility for what they've done. Joshua Every is going to live the rest of his life in prison, and I'm sure he'll have some days where he laughs and jokes and has a good time because, sometimes in prison, you make the best of it and you find a way to enjoy it, and I'm sure that's what he's going to do in prison. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's going to go to prison and be a punk. Maybe he's going to turn himself out. Maybe he's going to find him a wife in prison. Maybe he's going to be a wife. You just don't know until you know. So I don't know what this dude is and isn't going to do. But I know that Taylor is never going to be able to live her life. And that, it's gone. And her family has to live, the rest of their lives knowing that they never had a chance to see her reach her true and full potential. So if it was up to me, Joshua Every would have went to trial and we would have tried him. I'd let the jury convicted him and we would have gave him capital punishment, death sentence, and we would have carried it out as quick as possible. But that's where we're at. This is where we are. So I just wanted to share her story, man. Welcome to the Pen and the Shank, where we talk about all things crime and prison related. Give me a like and subscribe and go check out my other videos. Man, we got all kind of good stuff. Let's get it.